Hi, I'm John, and welcome to Edgetone Studios. I figured it was time to do a studio update. I think my last one was in February of this year. It's now July 2024. And, well, to start with, I'll talk about my Parkinson's health because that is a topic on my channel now. And overall, it's been pretty good. I've been reasonably stable. I go for probably about 10 days of kind of a stable daily. I'm not moving too poorly. And then I usually have a ramp up of symptoms where I feel like doing less. I still try and get out for walks regularly. And I've recently started getting back into drumming. I'd picked up drumming as a way to combat Parkinson's because the rhythmic activity forces that part of my brain that's dying to work harder and generally keep the symptoms at bay. So I've been doing that. And one of the things I've been wondering is whether I should document that. Like maybe that would be a motivation for me, but also maybe that would be interesting to people to see how I can improve while combating a neurological disorder. Anyways, I don't know. It's an idea. Throw a comment if you think that's so great that I have to spend a day a week or a day every couple weeks documenting myself drumming. I've got a new multi-camera setup, so I can do shots of drumming. Like I'll show you what that would look like. Secondly, our debut Waveform Mountain album is out. It came out May 3rd. It's a 12-song alt synth pop album with ethereal vocals, really interesting lyrics, very layered and textured. If you like sounds of the 80s, if you like modern pop, if you like cinematic sounding music, you probably like our album. If you want rock and blues, this is not for you. This is something completely different. Anybody who's given us feedback, feedback's been great. We just had a recent review from Recording Artists Guild, which was rather poorly written, but it was a glowing review. And I think next week we're going to be on the radio for an interview that was recorded last month, and that's with Mark Terra of Rainbow Country that focuses on LGBTQ2S plus content and music, and is syndicated in Canada and maybe in the US, and also shows up as a podcast. So maybe I'll link to that on this channel when it comes out. But check out Rainbow Country in about a week and see if you see the Waveform Mountain episode showing up. So I'm currently still doing live streams on the DIT community. So again, if you don't know about DIT, it's Do It Together, ditcommunity.com. And it's basically a free musicians resource. It's like a social network of contacts for music with all sorts of information about how to release, how to get gigs, how to make a website, how to sell yourself, how to hustle, all the things you need to do to make it in the music industry. I'm really happy to be a part of that because, you know, I built my studio as a retirement gig, something to do full time. When the Parkinsons hit, I decided it wasn't going to be so full time. I wasn't going to go for the money in the creation of music. I was going to go for the fun in creating stuff. And now I do a weekly session on different topics. So recently I did how to live stream with OBS. Before that, I did how to do some basic video editing in DaVinci Resolve. And before that, I talked about, microphones, choices and placement, and just general DAW recording topics. I think next week I'm going to be doing basically an introduction to MIDI and what MIDI is about and how MIDI is used in composition for those who don't know. So it's a cool community. I'm not saying go there to watch me do live streams. I'm saying if you're a musician or in the music industry, it's worthwhile getting on there. You'll make connections. You get to know people. That's what I've done, and it's leading to good things. So one of the things that's leading to is now that I've gotten really comfortable doing live streaming and talking to people all the time, I'm doing my first YouTube live stream next week. So I decided to do a YouTube live stream on the Persona Studio Live 32S, basically how it works in the studio, and a live stream so that hopefully if people show up and are interested in it, I can answer questions that people have about how to configure their 32S for the studio. It's pretty well been my most popular video, the video on why I went to a studio live instead of the Apollo. But overall, I think there's a lot of people interested in using digital mixers for their studio, for home recording, for even more pro recording like myself, and want to do something with one of these types of mixers and maybe have a lot of questions. So if you're interested, that's going to be next Tuesday, July 23rd at 4:30 Pacific Daylight Time. So that's 7:30 Eastern for people in Toronto or that time zone. I recently did an updated studio tour on the channel, so the 2024 studio tour is there. So that really talks about the gear changes I made. I got rid of my rack mount mixer that I was using as an alternative input source, back in favor of patch bay. I got rid of my hybrid mixing gear, so basically my outboard reverb, my outboard EQ and bus compressor, and replaced that with stuff for tracking instead. And with that, everything's set up with my new camera set up. I'm now set to do what I talked about before, which is this Musicians of Vancouver Island YouTube series. Basically, this is the first time I've really aimed to do a series. I did do my series on the console, but that was more because I bought a console and I thought I better document this. This is more an idea around what would be cool to do in the studio, and what's cool to do is bring musicians in and record them and film them and show off the amazing talent on Vancouver Island. And the response has been huge. I've got 10 acts already booked, maybe 12 now. I've got 14 more. We're just arranging the dates. So starting the end of the month, 2 weeks time, I'm recording the first band, 2-week break. Then I'm doing weekly till the end of the year, and hopefully able to produce and edit that video within a week. A couple songs and interview for different bands. You'll get to see some folk artists, some dream pop, some Celtic punk, maybe some metal, some jazz, some Americana roots, just a wide variety of stuff that goes on this island. It's an amazing, amazing place to live for music. So I'm really happy about that. I've got another video idea coming hopefully soon, and that's on this Roland G77 and GR77 synth bass. I picked up this bass back in November. It plays amazing. It feels really weird not having a full body there for your hand to rest on, but it plays amazing, and I managed to get the synth module for it about a month or so ago. But there's an issue with it where it's making a bit of noise, and I want to get that cleared up. I'm still working on trying to troubleshoot that. Once that's cleared up, I want to do a full video on just this amazing piece of 80s technology and how it works. There are some out there, but I thought it'd be nice to have an updated one. And lastly, man, I really miss that console. And I don't miss it because I wish it was in the studio here. I miss it because I miss the idea of a big, large format analog console in the studio instead of a digital mixer, even though the digital mixer works wonderfully. And I think I found the console I want to get. It's the Harrison 32 Classic. This thing is amazing. It's a 32-channel Harrison analog console with Harrison EQs, Harrison preamps, and sends and returns, and it's got Dante built in and can just integrate directly into computer digital audio workstation setup. Plus, it's got a shelf at the front to put your keyboard and mouse, and it's got a shelf at the back for monitors. I love this thing so much that I really want to get one. And the only way I'm going to get one is if I get super, super rich really within the next couple of years, because in Canada, these are going after tax for about $170,000 to $180,000. So Not likely, unless there's any Harrison reps out there. People work at Harrison want to work out a really special deal with this cool studio on Vancouver Island where the guy's going to, basically show off your console every time he does a YouTube video on his channel, which is going to grow and have millions of views and millions of subscribers, and you're going to sell so many. Yeah. But, that's my dream. I figured I'd set that as a goal, get a Harrison console eventually. It's something to work towards, something I probably will never achieve, but something to work towards. I think it would be really cool to have a full vintage console, not vintage, but, analog console in the studio. And yeah, I can dream. That's my dream. Anyways, that's my studio update for July. Watch for my series coming probably just before the fall, just before September. Should have the first of my Musicians of Vancouver Island series out, and then hopefully weekly after that, at least till the end of the year. And we'll see where things are at that point in time. So thanks for watching. Thanks for visiting me in the studio, and take care of yourselves. See ya.